and a gaggle of tourists tuck in to breakfast. 64-year-old Helga Jacobs and her 72-year-old husband Herman are from Camrose, Alberta. They came with 40 other townsfolk on a charter bus from their hometown. It's the last day of their 3-day tour. They still haven't seen all of Expo.
And we're going to go to the Ontario. We hear so many good reports about that, and we sort of ducked it because of the lineups. But this morning we're going to get in that lineup.
The tourists have paid for their bed and their breakfast, but the hotel won't see them for lunch or dinner. They'll spend money for that at Expo.
Let's go, let's go.
My husband's not yet.
He's coming, he's coming.
Thank you, Lord, for the fellowship we have shared on our tour, and now guide each and every one of us as we start our third and final day at Expo. Give Harvey continuing guidance to deliver us safely. Amen.
So, on a whim and a prayer, the Camrose townsfolk are on their way to Expo. Helga and Herman Jacobs will be just two of 112,000 people to visit the fair this day. Like most of them, they'll spend their money on site, their bus totally bypassing local businesses.
Our 3 days here have been see Expo and go back to your hotel and have a good sleep and be ready for the next morning.
And see Vancouver some other time.
Right.
Expo has anything the tourist wants. Free entertainment, more than 60 restaurants, and souvenir stands selling everything from plastic wallets to priceless works of art. Helga and Herman happily disappear through the gates, beyond the reach of local businesses. But Expo was supposed to spread the wealth around, not act as a black hole, vacuuming the spare change from tourist pockets. At least that's what business people were told.
Well, sure, I think anybody that's in business, everybody's going to benefit. I don't care whether you're in the gas station or the restaurant business or you're in a sawmill.
Their expectations were far too high, and it's unfortunate because that was contagious, where everybody's expectations got high.
Doreen Floyd runs an antique shop in Gastown. She says business in the tourist strip is down 40 to 50% from this time last year. Gastown is being turned into a ghost town. The streets used to be flooded with 600 to 1,500 tourists a day from visiting cruise ships that dock nearby. Not anymore.
We are lucky maybe if we talk to, 2 people a day off of the cruise ships. They're apparently put right on the buses, right from the cruise ships, taken to Expo, and taken back again.
In the 3 years, I think I've made $20.
That's how much Sandra Strandebo has made off of Expo, despite aggressively pursuing business for her office services company back when the fair was first announced. She heads the South Granville Business Association, just a bridge away from Expo. Some stores here say business is down as much as 50%. It's the same story at Granville Island, even closer to Expo, and at some downtown department stores, where business is so slow, part-timers are being laid off.
I think it's a general feeling of disappointment that we had thought that there would be large amounts of people shopping up and down the street because it's so close. It's so handily accessed. And there haven't been.
And they're away.
Not just businesses hurting because of Expo, sporting events have found their toughest competition is off the field. The recent Harry Jerome Trek meet was barely able to sell enough seats to break even. The biggest hurdle to overcome was Expo.
You know, people just, I guess, aren't spending their money on things outside of what we think is Expo. That's what we think.
Attention was exactly what a chorus line got when it opened in Vancouver in April. It played to packed houses on its first run. But since Expo opened, 3/4 of the seats have been empty. It closed Friday, losing more than $50,000 for the Playhouse Theater.
This was a real opportunity for us to be able to put some money in the bank. It looked like a good business move, and we thought we'd be able to, put ourselves into quite a good surplus situation that would carry us through into what I anticipate anyway is going to be a depression after Expo. Now it's going to be even worse. We're still going to be hit with a depression as well as what we're going through now.
Playhouse General Manager Martin Bragg says other theater troupes simply aren't going to survive.
The talk around the town is that I think there may very well be some organizations that will go under, and I think we're going to see a lot of dark theaters in Vancouver for the duration. I really do.
Movie houses are hurting too, Famous Players says with more than 100,000 people going to Expo each day, there has to be an impact. Even the Vancouver International Film Festival is in trouble, playing to half houses.
Expo really has hurt the film festival. It's a way down from last year. Even the people that came here, Vincent Price, Joan Bennett, Michael York, they didn't want to see Vancouver. They wanted to see Expo.
What this all boils down to is Expo is too successful. Tourists come here and stay here. Locals spend all their money here. The Downtown Vancouver Association represents big business in the city. It says the trend could reverse. As over the summer, more tourists come, locals won't want to come here. They'll spend their money back in the city. But come September, the tourists will leave, and locals will likely come back in large numbers. That means the business spin-offs from Expo could once again turn into tailspins.
I think if you follow the trend, if what has happened in the last 6 weeks is any indication, then you're probably going to look at that same trend in the last 6 weeks in September, October.
Expo's day ends at 10 p.m. It sucked another $1 million into its coffers, a few of them from the pockets of Helga and Herman Jacobs.
We came to see Expo this time, which has been a real highlight.
So Expo's the thing.
Right. That was the thing for us this year.